Imagine a hidden saboteur quietly working against your well-being day in and day out. This isn't a scene from a spy movie. It's the reality of high blood pressure, often dubbed the silent killer, and for an incredibly good reason. It rarely whispers a warning, doesn't cause throbbing pain, and shows no obvious outward signs that something is amiss. For countless seniors, this invisible pressure stealthily builds within their arteries like a slow-rising tide until a sudden catastrophic event, a debilitating stroke, or a life-altering heart attack crashes down, finally bringing the danger into sharp, devastating focus. What makes this condition even more perilous is how deceptively simple it is to overlook the everyday habits that fuel its progression. The simple choices you make from the moment you wake up, what lands on your plate, how often you move your body, the way you handle life's inevitable stresses, wield a far more significant influence over your blood pressure than you might ever realize. The sobering truth is that a vast number of individuals over 50 believe they're navigating their health journey responsibly. They diligently take prescribed medications, attend their scheduled checkups, and make a conscious effort to stay active. Yet woven into the fabric of their daily routines are subtle, often invisible missteps, habits that appear entirely harmless on the surface, but are in reality steadily nudging their blood pressure upwards or just as dangerously undermining the effectiveness of their treatment. Unless someone specifically shines a light on these unassuming culprits, they continue their damaging work unchecked, placing a relentless strain on the heart, the brain, and the entire intricate network of the circulatory system. This is precisely why understanding these pitfalls is not just important, it's crucial. We're not here to bombard you with complex medical terminology or to make you feel guilty about past choices. Our mission is to bring clarity to illuminate the most common blood pressure blunders that seniors often make and to offer straightforward practical adjustments that can forge a real tangible difference in your health. Whether you've been grappling with hypertension for years or are just beginning to pay closer attention to those numbers on the monitor, this guide is meticulously designed to empower you to reclaim control of your health in a way that feels achievable, encouraging, and intelligent. Because ultimately, managing blood pressure isn't merely about statistics on a screen. It's about preserving your ability to stay active, think with clarity, sleep soundly, and embrace life with unwavering confidence. And that journey begins with knowing precisely what to sidestep and what positive actions to embrace instead. So let's delve into the first common misstep and begin constructing a stronger, more stable foundation for your heart health, one smart habit at a time. Managing high blood pressure very often begins with a doctor's prescription. While these medications are among our most powerful allies in the quest to keep those critical numbers under control, their magic only truly works if they are taken with unwavering correctness and consistency. One of the most hazardous and sadly frequent mistakes seniors make involves their medication regimen. Skipping doses, taking pills at erratic times, or even more concerning, discontinuing medication altogether without seeking any medical counsel. It's a habit that might seem insignificant in the fleeting moment of decision, but over time, it can unleash a cascade of serious, even life-threatening consequences. The reasons behind this medication non-adherence are varied and often understandable. Some individuals genuinely forget, life gets busy, and routines can be disrupted. Others start to feel perfectly fine and mistakenly assume the medicine is no longer necessary, a dangerous assumption when dealing with a silent condition. Many worry about potential side effects, which can be a valid concern, or they simply dislike the notion of being dependent on a daily pill for their well-being. Still others, perhaps facing financial constraints, might resort to cutting pills in half or taking them every other day in an attempt to stretch a prescription or save money. While each of these decisions might feel logical or necessary from an individual's perspective, they can collectively lead to unpredictable and harmful fluctuations in blood pressure. These swings place an enormous strain on the heart and significantly elevate the risk of severe complications like stroke, kidney damage, or heart failure. It's absolutely vital to understand that blood pressure medication is meticulously calibrated to your specific body and its needs. It's not just about superficially lowering a number on a monitor. It's about providing comprehensive protection for your entire cardiovascular system. When doses are missed or the medication is taken irregularly, blood pressure can surge unexpectedly, often without any warning signs. This rise might not feel like anything discernible at first, but over the long haul, it quietly inflicts damage on the arteries and places ever-increasing pressure on your vital organs. And because symptoms are so rarely present, many people remain blissfully unaware that anything is wrong until a crisis erupts. What's especially crucial to grasp is that blood pressure medications often don't produce an immediate, tangible feeling of wellness in the way other medications might, like a pain reliever, easing a headache. You don't necessarily feel better right after taking them. And this lack of immediate sensory feedback can make it dangerously easy to underestimate their profound importance. But rest assured, behind the scenes, these medications are performing critical, life-sustaining work, easing the immense pressure on your heart, improving the efficiency of your circulation, and substantially reducing your risk of life-altering complications. The encouraging news is that this particular mistake is entirely preventable with a little diligence and awareness. The very first step is to transform medication taking into an unbreakable routine, not a daily question mark. Endeavor to take it at the exact same time every single day, utilizing helpful reminders such as pill organizers, setting alarms on your phone, or using daily checklists. If you ever do miss a dose, resist the urge to double up without first consulting your doctor. Instead, call their office and ask for precise guidance. And if you find yourself experiencing unwelcome side effects, bring them to your doctor's attention immediately. Often, there are alternative medications available or adjusted dosages that can help you feel better without compromising your heart health. Furthermore, never ever stop taking your blood pressure medication simply because your readings appear normal. That's frequently a clear indication that the medication is doing its job effectively, not a signal to discontinue it. Always, without exception, consult your doctor before making any alterations to your medication plan, no matter how minor they may seem. Even small adjustments in timing or dosage can significantly impact how well the medication works. It's also incredibly worthwhile to discuss any affordability concerns with your healthcare provider. Many seniors try to stretch prescriptions due to cost, but there are often generic versions available, discounts, or patient assistance programs that can provide much-needed relief. Your health is unquestionably worth that conversation. Managing blood pressure is indeed a long-term commitment, but it's a commitment that rewards you with increased energy, greater stability, and profound peace of mind. It all begins with consistency. One pill, one day, one thoughtful decision at a time. Your heart is counting on you to stay on track, and so is your future. You might diligently avoid reaching for the salt shaker at every meal, believing you're keeping your sodium intake in check. However, the surprising truth is that the majority of salt in a senior's diet doesn't come from what's consciously sprinkled on top of food. It's insidiously hidden deep within the foods we consume every single day. One of the most prevalent and frequently overlooked mistakes in the ongoing battle for blood pressure management is drastically underestimating just how much sodium is stealthily infiltrating your meals, often from sources you'd least expect. The link between high sodium intake and high blood pressure is direct and scientifically well established. Salt acts like a magnet for water in your body, causing it to retain excess fluid. This increased fluid volume in turn boosts the volume of blood circulating within your vessels, thereby exerting extra unwelcome pressure on your artery walls over an extended period. This relentless pressure gradually wears down the heart and can precipitate severe health crises such as stroke, heart attack, kidney damage, or a host of other serious health problems. But because the detrimental effects of sodium are largely silent and unfelt until major damage occurs, it's deceptively easy to dismiss its impact and even easier to forget where this ubiquitous mineral is hiding. You'll find it lurking in a vast array of common grocery items, packaged foods, canned soups that promise convenience, savory sauces, quick-fix frozen dinners. Everyday breads and deli meats are often loaded with it. Even foods that masquerade as healthy choices, like some low-fat salad dressings or seemingly virtuous whole grain crackers, can be packed to the brim with sodium. It's added not just to enhance flavor, but also as a crucial preservative to extend shelf life. Consequently, many items labeled as light, diet, or even heart healthy may still contain surprisingly high amounts of salt, carefully included to maintain shelf stability and taste appeal. When these types of foods become dietary staples, perhaps because they are easy to prepare, convenient for a busy lifestyle, or simply taste familiar and comforting, the sodium can add up incredibly fast, often without you even realizing it. For seniors, this issue of hidden sodium is even more critical. As we age, our kidneys naturally become less efficient at filtering out excess sodium, and the body often becomes more sensitive to its blood pressure-raising effects. This means that even a moderate sodium intake, one that might not have caused significant issues decades earlier, can now lead to much bigger increases in blood pressure. Furthermore, this increased sodium load often exacerbates fluid retention, which can worsen conditions like uncomfortable swelling in the legs or ankles, or more seriously contribute to congestive heart failure. The very first and most crucial step to correcting this common mistake is cultivating awareness. Start diligently reading food labels, not just glancing at calories or fat content, but specifically looking for the sodium levels. You will likely be surprised, even shocked, at where it's hiding and in what quantities. A single serving of some canned soups can contain more than half of your entire daily recommended sodium intake. Even seemingly innocuous items like a slice of bread or a serving of breakfast cereal can contribute significant amounts if consumed regularly as part of your daily diet. A good rule of thumb is to aim for products that are clearly labeled low sodium, which typically means less than 140 milligrams per serving, or better yet, no added salt whenever possible. Beyond label reading, incorporating practical steps into your daily routine can also make a substantial difference. For instance, always rinse canned beans and vegetables thoroughly under running water to wash away as much excess sodium as possible. Make a conscious effort to choose fresh or frozen foods that don't come pre-packaged with sauces, as these are often high in sodium. Whenever feasible, cook more of your meals at home, where you have complete control over the ingredients and can decide exactly how much, if any, salt is added. Experiment with using a vibrant array of herbs, spices, a squeeze of lemon or lime, a splash of vinegar, fresh garlic, or a dash of pepper to add depth and flavor to your dishes without resorting to salt. Over time, you'll likely find that these healthier options not only protect your heart, but actually enhance the natural taste of your meals. And yes, retraining your taste buds does take a little time and patience. If you've relied on heavily salted foods for many years, lower sodium options might initially seem bland or unappetizing. However, your palate is remarkably adaptable and will adjust, often within a few weeks. Soon you'll begin to taste the true natural flavors of foods much more clearly, and you may even find that highly salted foods become overly intense or even unpleasant to your newly refined taste. Cutting back on sodium doesn't mean you have to give up the enjoyment of food. It simply means choosing a path that actively supports your health, diligently protects your heart, and helps you live with more clarity, sustained energy, and greater stability. Every bite becomes a conscious step toward achieving balance, and every meal transforms into an opportunity to nourish not just your hunger, but your overall well-being. Blood pressure isn't something you can typically feel, at least not until it has reached dangerously high levels or tragically causes a serious medical event. That's precisely what makes it so deceptive and insidious. You could be going about your day feeling perfectly fine, even robustly healthy, while your blood pressure is quietly, steadily rising, unbeknownst to you. For seniors, one of the most common and undeniably risky mistakes is not checking their blood pressure regularly at home, or worse, relying solely on those infrequent annual doctor visits to keep tabs on this critical health marker. Without consistent, ongoing monitoring, small incremental changes often go completely unnoticed, and those seemingly minor changes can over time lead to very big, very serious consequences. The unvarnished reality is that blood pressure is a dynamic vital sign, constantly shifting throughout the day in response to a multitude of factors, including everything from your current stress levels and the quality of your sleep, to what you've recently eaten and how physically active you've been. A single reading taken at the doctor's office, even if it happens to be perfect on that particular day, simply doesn't tell the full story of what's happening with your blood pressure over time. In many cases, those clinic readings can be falsely elevated due to white coat syndrome, the anxiety or nervousness some people feel in a medical setting, or conversely, they could be falsely low if you just happen to be having a particularly good relaxed day. This is precisely why Atom blood pressure monitoring is so incredibly powerful and valuable. It provides you with a much more complete and accurate picture of your blood pressure trends over days, weeks, and months. And that invaluable insight could quite literally be life-saving. When you don't regularly track your blood pressure, you miss out on valuable clues that your body might be trying to send you. Perhaps your current medication isn't working as effectively as it once did. Maybe a new dietary habit you've adopted or a recent increase in life stressors is beginning to take a toll on your cardiovascular system. It's even possible that a new supplement you've added to your daily routine is inadvertently interfering with your prescription medication. Without the data from regular readings, you're essentially left guessing about these crucial aspects of your health. And when it comes to your heart, guessing simply isn't good enough. Monitoring your blood pressure at home is one of the simplest and most empowering health habits you can possibly build. It allows you to spot emerging patterns, catch potentially dangerous spikes early on before they can cause significant harm, and provide your doctor with the detailed data they need to make more informed and effective decisions about your treatment plan. It also helps you take a proactive sense of ownership over your health. You're no longer just passively waiting for results from a clinic. You're actively shaping them, one informed reading at a time. You don't need fancy, complicated equipment or specialized medical training to do this. Today's home blood pressure monitors are remarkably affordable, incredibly easy to use, and often come equipped with large, easily readable displays and built-in memory functions to store your readings. The absolute key to success is consistency. Pick a specific time of day, such as first thing in the morning before medication or food, or perhaps early in the evening, and make a commitment to measure your blood pressure at roughly the same time daily. Before taking a reading, sit calmly and quietly for at least 5 minutes. Rest your arm comfortably on a table at heart level. Keep both feet flat on the floor and avoid talking or moving during the measurement. Consistently doing this every day builds a clear, honest, and ongoing picture of how your body is functioning. It's also critically important to keep a detailed log of your readings, whether you prefer to jot them down on paper or use a convenient smartphone app. And be sure to bring this log with you to every single doctor's visit. This kind of comprehensive record makes your appointments far more productive and meaningful, allowing your healthcare provider to spot subtle changes, adjust medication if necessary, or catch early warning signs before they can escalate into serious problems. Some people unfortunately avoid monitoring their blood pressure because they're afraid of what they might find. They worry that seeing a high number will create undue stress or anxiety. But the unassailable truth is that ignoring your blood pressure doesn't protect you in any way. It just gives potential problems more unchecked time to grow and fester. Awareness is always the very first step toward improvement. And with a condition as serious as high blood pressure, early detection is absolutely everything. Checking your blood pressure isn't just another mundane task to cross off your daily to-do list. It's an ongoing vital conversation with your body. And like any good conversation, it works best when it happens regularly, calmly, and with genuine care and attention. Make it an integral part of your daily rhythm. Transform it into an unbreakable habit. And most importantly, make it a non-negotiable priority because your future, your health, and your quality of life truly depend on the informed choices you make today. Stress isn't just an abstract feeling you experience in your mind. It's something your entire body carries and reacts to. Physiologically, while we often incorrectly associate high blood pressure with factors like poor diet or a lack of physical exercise, one of the most profoundly underestimated contributors is chronic, unmanaged, and unrelieved stress. For seniors, allowing stress to go unmanaged is a significant mistake that not only detrimentally affects mood and sleep patterns, but also quietly and consistently pushes blood pressure higher day after day, often without them even realizing the connection. When you experience stress, your body activates its innate fight-or-flight response, a primitive survival mechanism that floods your system with powerful hormones like adrenaline and cortisol. These chemicals temporarily raise your blood pressure by causing your blood vessels to tighten and constrict, and by increasing your heart rate. This is a normal, even helpful short-term reaction designed to prepare you for immediate action. However, when stress transitions from being an occasional event to a daily, persistent habit, your body starts to remain in that heightened state of alert almost constantly. Your arteries can stay constricted. Your heart is forced to work harder than it should. And over time, that ongoing relentless pressure creates cumulative damage that medication alone can't always fully fix or reverse. The particularly tricky part about stress is that it often hides in plain sight, masquerading as everyday life. It doesn't always manifest as dramatic panic attacks or angry outbursts. Sometimes it's a much more subtle, nagging tension in the shoulders, a persistent tightness in the chest, a restless night's sleep filled with tossing and turning, or a quiet, pervasive feeling of being constantly overwhelmed by daily demands. And because many seniors come from generations that were often taught to stoically push through difficulties or to always stay strong in the face of adversity, it can be all too easy to downplay these internal feelings or simply try to ignore them altogether. But ignoring stress doesn't make it magically go away. It just gives it more unopposed time to settle deeper into your system, steadily draining your energy, shortening your patience, and quietly, insidiously spiking your blood pressure. The truly good news is that managing stress effectively doesn't necessarily require drastic life changes or expensive, time-consuming therapies. It often starts with incorporating small, intentional actions into your daily routine that are designed to calm your nervous system and bring you back into a state of balance and equilibrium. Deep breathing exercises, for example, are remarkably effective at slowing the heart rate and helping to relax constricted blood vessels. Gentle forms of movement, such as a mindful walk in nature, restorative yoga, or simple stretching, can release physical tension and stimulate the production of mood-lifting endorphins. Spending quiet time in nature, listening to calming music, or practicing gratitude through journaling or prayer can also significantly help to reset the body's stress response. Even something as simple as talking to a trusted friend or openly expressing your emotions can lighten the mental load and reduce feelings of isolation. The absolute key is to build a consistent habit of daily stress care. Not just reacting when things become overwhelmingly tough, but proactively creating regular routines that give your mind and body the dedicated space and time they need to unwind and rejuvenate. Think of it much like brushing your teeth. It's not something you only do when your teeth hurt. It's a preventative measure you take every day to keep problems from starting in the first place. And if you've been living with unmanaged stress for a long period, please be kind and compassionate with yourself. This isn't about assigning blame or feeling guilty. It's about recognizing where positive change is possible and then taking one small, manageable step at a time. You don't have to fix everything overnight. But when you consciously begin to make space in your life for calm, for quiet reflection, for genuine self-care, your body will respond positively, not just in your mind, but also in your blood pressure readings, the quality of your sleep, your digestion, and your overall sense of peace and well-being. Stress may indeed be invisible to the naked eye, but its physiological effects are profoundly real, and the power to manage it effectively is always within your reach. One mindful breath, one gentle walk, one quiet moment of stillness at a time. When it comes to effectively managing high blood pressure, what you don't do can be just as crucially important as what you do. One of the most frequently overlooked, yet most impactful mistakes that seniors often make is ignoring the detrimental effects of physical inactivity. In other words, this means sitting for excessively long periods, moving far too little throughout the day, and sometimes mistakenly assuming that rest is always the best medicine, especially as one ages. While rest certainly has its vital place in health and recovery, a persistent lack of movement can slowly, quietly, and inexorably push blood pressure higher, forcing the heart to work much harder than it truly needs to. Regular physical activity plays a fundamental role in helping to regulate blood pressure, primarily by strengthening the heart muscle itself. A stronger, more efficient heart can pump a greater volume of blood with less effort, which in turn reduces the force exerted on your arteries and helps to keep your blood pressure numbers within a healthier, more stable range. Beyond this direct effect, exercise also significantly improves circulation throughout the body, reduces systemic inflammation, a key contributor to many chronic diseases, supports healthy weight control, and effectively lowers stress levels, all of which are key factors in maintaining robust cardiovascular health. However, when regular movement largely disappears from daily life, the body begins to lose its inherent efficiency. Muscles can weaken and atrophy. Circulation tends to slow down, and the pressure inside your blood vessels can gradually begin to rise. For many seniors, the primary challenge isn't a lack of motivation. Rather, it's often uncertainty or apprehension. Legitimate concerns about joint pain, chronic fatigue, or a fear of falling can make the very idea of engaging in exercise feel intimidating or even overwhelming. But it's essential to understand that physical activity doesn't have to be strenuous or exhausting to be incredibly effective. Even light to moderate movement, when performed consistently, can produce very real and significant benefits for blood pressure and overall health. Something as simple as a daily walk around the block, a few minutes of gentle stretching first thing in the morning, or even some light chair exercises done while watching television can all help to get the heart pumping more efficiently and the blood flowing more freely. In fact, one of the most powerful and easily implementable changes you can make is simply to make a conscious effort to sit less. If you tend to watch television or read for long, uninterrupted stretches, try to make a point of standing up and moving every 30 to 60 minutes. You could march in place for a minute, take a short walk to the kitchen for a glass of water, do a few gentle shoulder rolls, or even some simple toe taps. These short, intermittent bursts of movement throughout the day are incredibly effective at breaking up long periods of sedentary behavior, which can otherwise cause arteries to stiffen and contribute to a gradual rise in blood pressure over time. What matters most, far more than intensity or duration in any single session, is consistency. Moving your body regularly sends a powerful message to your heart, your blood vessels, and your brain that you're still engaged with life, still active and still strong. Over time, that consistent message becomes a physiological reality. It's also incredibly important to find forms of movement that you genuinely enjoy. This might be dancing to your favorite music, tending to a garden, participating in water aerobics, or following a simple stretching routine in the morning sun. When exercise feels pleasant and rewarding rather than like a punishment or a chore, you're infinitely more likely to stick with it long term. And the more it becomes an ingrained habit, the more your body will begin to thrive and respond positively. If you're unsure where or how to start, don't hesitate to talk to your doctor or a qualified physical therapist. They can help you find safe, appropriate, and effective ways to move based on your current health status and mobility level. Remember, this isn't about transforming into an elite athlete overnight. It's about maintaining your independence, keeping your balance strong, and giving your heart the crucial help it needs to continue serving you well for many years to come. Ignoring inactivity may feel harmless in the short term, but over time it places unnecessary and avoidable pressure on your heart and blood vessels. Movement truly is medicine, and every single step you take, no matter how small it may seem, is a significant step toward lower blood pressure and a stronger, more confident you. A comforting cup of coffee in the morning, a relaxing glass of wine with dinner. These small, everyday comforts are an integral part of daily life for many people. And in true moderation, they can be just that, comforting and enjoyable. However, for seniors who are actively managing high blood pressure, overusing either caffeine or alcohol is a common mistake that often flies completely under the radar, its potential impact unacknowledged. These substances might not seem overtly dangerous in the moment of consumption, but they can quietly and progressively raise blood pressure, significantly interfere with the effectiveness of prescribed medications, and ultimately create more health challenges than they solve. Let's start by considering caffeine, a stimulant found in coffee, tea, many soft drinks, so-called energy drinks, and even in chocolate. Caffeine works by narrowing your blood vessels and increasing your heart rate, both of which can cause a temporary and sometimes significant elevation in blood pressure. For some individuals, this effect is minor or very short-lived. But for others, especially those already dealing with diagnosed hypertension or those who have a heightened sensitivity to stimulants, even a relatively small dose of caffeine can push their blood pressure readings into a concerning or even dangerous zone. What's particularly tricky about caffeine is that its effect varies greatly from one person to another. Some seniors can comfortably enjoy a daily cup of coffee without experiencing any noticeable adverse issues, while others may experience significant blood pressure spikes that can last for several hours, sometimes without them even realizing that the caffeine is the culprit. The absolute key here is awareness. If you regularly consume caffeine in any form, it's incredibly worthwhile to pay close attention to how your body responds. Consider checking your blood pressure both before and after your morning brew or your afternoon soda. If you notice a consistent pattern of higher readings after caffeine consumption, or if you experience symptoms like headaches, jitteriness, a racing heart, or increased anxiety, it might be a clear sign that it's time to cut back significantly or switch to decaffeinated alternatives. You don't necessarily have to give up your favorite rituals entirely. It's more about making thoughtful, heart-healthy adjustments that support your overall well-being. Alcohol presents a different, though equally important kind of challenge for blood pressure management. In very small amounts, it may sometimes seem to help with relaxation, perhaps lowering your guard and easing stress at the end of a long day. However, when consumed in larger or more frequent doses, alcohol unequivocally raises blood pressure and can interfere significantly with the effectiveness of the medications commonly used to treat hypertension. Furthermore, alcohol contributes to dehydration, which can concentrate the blood and raise pressure, poor sleep quality, unwanted weight gain, and increased emotional stress, all of which negatively impact blood pressure levels. For seniors, whose bodies often process alcohol more slowly than when they were younger, these detrimental effects can be magnified and may linger for a longer period than expected. Consuming more than one standard alcoholic beverage per day for women or more than 2 for men can begin to shift the balance from an occasional harmless indulgence to a chronic health risk. Moreover, combining alcohol with blood pressure medications can lead to a wide range of unwelcome side effects, including dizziness, confusion, and increased strain on the liver. These risks are even greater when other medications are also in play, which is frequently the case for older adults who are often managing multiple health conditions simultaneously. The truly good news is that moderation and even small reductions in consumption can make a noticeable and positive difference. Cutting back on either caffeine or alcohol can often lead to lower, more stable blood pressure readings, better quality sleep, more consistent energy levels throughout the day, and improved mental focus. In some cases, reducing these substances can also lessen the need for additional medications or higher dosages. And giving up coffee or wine doesn't mean you have to give up comfort or enjoyable rituals. There are plenty of delicious, heart-friendly alternatives to explore. Try soothing herbal teas like chamomile, mint, or rooibos. Sip on warm lemon water or make your own refreshing flavored sparkling water with fresh fruit and herbs. These simple swaps can offer the same sense of ritual and relaxation without the associated side effects. Ultimately, it's not about imposing harsh restrictions. It's about fostering intention and awareness. Knowing how caffeine and alcohol specifically affect your body empowers you to make better, more informed choices. Choices that support not just your blood pressure, but your overall health and quality of life. Your heart doesn't ask for absolute perfection. It asks for consistent care, and each thoughtful step you take toward achieving balance is a significant step toward a stronger, steadier you. When it comes to successfully managing high blood pressure, having the right support system in place is just as critically important as diligently taking the right medication or consistently eating the right foods. And at the very center of that essential support system is your healthcare provider. Yet one of the most common and entirely avoidable mistakes that seniors often make is not keeping the lines of communication wide open with their doctor or their broader care team. Whether this manifests as skipping scheduled appointments, holding back on fully describing symptoms, or simply assuming that things are good enough as they are, a lack of honest, regular dialogue can lead to missed opportunities for optimizing care. And more alarmingly, missed warning signs of potential problems. It's remarkably easy to fall into a passive routine of simply renewing prescriptions and dutifully showing up for annual checkups without engaging in deeper conversation. But blood pressure isn't a set it and forget it type of condition. It's dynamic and fluctuates in response to changes in stress levels, physical activity, sleep patterns, diet, other medications you might be taking, and even the changing seasons. If your doctor isn't fully and accurately informed about how you're truly feeling or what's happening in your day-to-day life, they're essentially working with only half of the picture. That incomplete understanding can make it significantly harder for them to catch emerging problems early or to effectively fine-tune your treatment plan for the best possible outcomes. Many seniors hesitate to speak up candidly with their doctors out of a fear of seeming difficult, being judged for their lifestyle choices, or feeling like they are bothering their busy physician with seemingly minor concerns. However, it's crucial to remember that no concern is too small or insignificant if it relates to your health and well-being. Whether you're experiencing unusual dizziness that you've been trying to ignore, a persistent side effect from a medication, a new supplement you've recently started taking, or a significant change in your daily routine or stress levels. All of this information is vital. It helps your provider ensure that your care plan remains both safe and effective. Medication side effects in particular are one of the most significantly underreported issues. Some people simply stop taking their pills because they don't like how they feel, but they never mention this crucial fact to their doctor. This can lead to uncontrolled blood pressure, which is dangerous enough, or worse, it can precipitate serious, even life-threatening complications. A quick, honest conversation with your doctor could easily result in an adjusted dosage, a switch to a different medication with fewer side effects, or helpful lifestyle changes that can make a world of difference to your comfort and adherence. Your blood pressure readings taken at home should also be an integral part of your communication with your healthcare provider. Be sure to bring your log of readings to all your appointments or share it electronically through a patient portal if that option is available. Seeing the trend of your readings over time, not just a single snapshot taken in the clinic, allows your provider to gain a much clearer understanding of what's working well with your treatment plan and what isn't. And if your home readings are consistently inconsistent or concerning, they can help you troubleshoot why that might be happening. Even your mental and emotional health are highly relevant to this conversation. Factors like chronic stress, feelings of loneliness or social isolation, depression and anxiety can all contribute significantly to rising blood pressure. Your provider may be able to refer you to valuable resources such as counseling services, support groups, or community programs that can offer help and coping strategies. If visiting the clinic in person is difficult for you due to mobility issues, distance, or transportation concerns, don't hesitate to ask about telehealth options. Many medical practices now offer virtual appointments that make it much easier to stay in touch with your doctor and manage your health without the stress and inconvenience of leaving home. Good communication doesn't necessarily require long, drawn-out conversations. It just requires honest ones. Your doctor is your partner in health, not a judge. The more they know about your experiences and concerns, the better they can guide you. And you don't have to wait until your next scheduled appointment if something feels off, or if you're unsure about a reading, a side effect, or a lifestyle change. Reach out to their office. Your health isn't a solo project, it's a collaborative effort. And keeping those lines of communication open and active is one of the smartest, simplest things you can do to protect your blood pressure and safeguard your future. These are all manageable, realistic changes. They don't require you to completely overhaul your entire life overnight. They simply ask you to care for yourself with a little more consistency, a little more intention, and a little more self-compassion. We firmly believe that good health is built one sustainable habit at a time. You don't have to tackle everything all at once, or perhaps it's consciously swapping a salty processed snack for a fresh whole food alternative. Maybe your first step will be setting a daily reminder to take your medication on time, without fail, or making that important call to your doctor about something that's been bothering you.